What lies ahead in Larry Fedora's fourth year in Chapel Hill? I'm Jeff Fischel with this spring football update on the ACC Digital Network, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday. Joining me now, Greg Barnes from inside Carolina. He knows the Tar Heels. Let's start on offense, Greg. Marquise Williams, second team All-ACC last year. What do we expect heading into his senior season?
That's a great question, Jeff. Marquise missed spring ball after having hip surgery that limited him kind of late in the year last year. But as you mentioned, had a great year in his junior campaign. He's finally the true leader of this team. They've got about 10 starters back on offense. He's got plenty of weapons. They don't want to run him quite as much as they had to last year just because of the offensive woes. And they want him to be a little bit sharper in his passing ability. But he's a tough kid. He made a lot of big plays from North Carolina. And if they are to elevate their play and get back on the winning side of the win and loss column, he's going to be the #1 reason why.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. Now, of course, when we talk about North Carolina, perhaps why they didn't fare as well last year as you might have expected, defensively they gave up almost 500 yards a game. Gene Chizik comes in as the defensive coordinator. What did you see this spring in the ways he's trying to change that defense?
Well, I think first and foremost is the fact that they cut everything down to the basics. I mean, they were teaching the guys how to tackle. They want to make sure every single player on the defense side of the ball knows exactly what they're doing. They're not so concerned with scheme right now. They are going to run a 4-3, but they really want to get the fundamentals down. And so it's more of a mental thing, I think, for Gene Chizik in his first year, is to get these guys built back up, and then you can really worry about schematics and getting them to play at a higher level, because it's hard to play much worse than they did last year.
Now, we talked about Larry Fedora. It's coming up on his fourth year here. What kind of step did this program need to take for him to say, hey, I am the man, I'm making progress in Chapel Hill?
Well, Larry will tell you that when he came in and the sanctions came down, I guess 3 months after he arrived in Chapel Hill, they knew that there wasn't going to be a setback initially because there was still plenty of talent in the program. But with the NCAA sanctions, they thought years 3 and 4 would be the most difficult to traverse. There's still going to be some struggles this year, although they do have a lot better depth on the offensive line, which will really help. And I think the new scheme that Chizik's bringing in will help defensively.
Every year we talk about the crazy, chaotic Coastal Division. Do the Tar Heels have a shot this year?
I think so. I think with the way that the schedule is set up, they most definitely do. So North Carolina should be able to work into the season, build some confidence, and really be ready to go when they have to go down to Atlanta, which I think will have a big role in how the Coastal Division actually plays out.
Greg, great stuff as always covering Carolina. Thank you so much. I'm Jeff Fischel. You're watching the Spring Football Update here on the ACC Digital Network, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday.